Welcome to XIO Voice. Continuing from the previous episode 206. The Holy Pill City's Alchemist trade fair possessed a grand reputation within this region. This trade fair was not as chaotic and messy as other trade fairs. If one had to rank various trade fairs, the trade fair Xiao Yan's group was headed to this time around could be considered a high-class one. It was far different from those small trade fairs that one had been to. The location of this trade fair was in the outer region of Holy Pill City. However, its location was not bad. It was at the intersection between the outer and inner region. It was rumored that this trade fair was supported by the Pill Tower, and was the reason why it had developed into such a grand affair. It was precisely for this reason that murdering and robbing when exchanging for things within the trade fair seldom happened. After all, no one could escape being chased by the Pill Tower within this pill region. Alchemist Trade Fair. Xiao Yan stood in front of a building that occupied a vast space as he looked at a pale green, wooden plaque. The words, "Flying Dragon Dancing Phoenix," were written on it. He involuntarily wiped off some cold sweat. This trade fair was known by this name. At the moment, the front of this trade fair was filled with people. The human flow was just like floodwater as people moved to and fro. Countless numbers of people in alchemist robes successfully walked by the guards located at the entrance of the trade fair in front of numerous envious gazes. They then entered the building. "Is this the place?" Xiao Yan looked at the grand trade fair. He turned his head and asked Yi Zhang to his side. "That's right." Yi Zhang grinned and nodded. He immediately reminisced about fond memories. "It has been many years since I have been here." "It has changed quite a bit." Xiao Yan smiled after confirming his target. After which, he slowly walked to the front door of the trade fair. When the cold and stern-looking guards were about to stop him, Xiao Yan took the Tier 7 Alchemist badge, which he had just obtained from the test the day before, out of his storage ring. He gently stuck it on his chest. The stern-looking guards slowly took a step back upon seeing the badge on Xiao Yan's chest. After which, they bowed to him. According to the rules of this Alchemist trade fair, Alchemists Tier 7 and above were allowed to bring some companions. Hence, Xin Lan and the rest were not stopped. Instead, they were allowed to follow Xiao Yan through the spacious front door. There was a spacious and cool pathway behind the large door. Xiao Yan's group had successfully arrived. After which, a seething noise suddenly pounced toward them, entering into their ears. Xiao Yan's eyes swept around him as he stood at the exit of the path. An extremely spacious hall appeared in front of him. Many orderly stone platforms were present within the large hall, appearing like street vendors. There were some people who appeared to be vendors seated behind the stone platforms. They appeared lazy and not like businessmen at all. Of course, they were not businessmen. The crowd within the large hall was terrifying. Moreover, most of them were wearing alchemists' robes. Clearly, they were alchemists. Quite a number of alchemists were swimming through this spacious hall. Occasionally, they would pause and carefully observe some of the items that had been placed on the stone platforms. If there was something that caught their eye, they would stop and begin discussing the terms of the exchange with the vendor. Haha, this alchemist trade fair is also divided into regions of different grades. This is merely the region of the third grade. The second grade region is on the second floor while the first grade region is the top floor. However, there are conditions one must meet in order to enter the areas above. Yi Zhang laughed behind Xiao Yan. One must reach the level of a Tier 6 alchemist in order to enter the second floor while one must, at the very least, reach the 7th tier or be of the Dozun class in order to enter the third floor. Xiao Yan slowly nodded and smiled as he said, "Let's look around and see if we can find anything good." After speaking, Xiao Yan took the lead and walked into the large hall with great interest. After which, his eyes began to sweep over the surrounding vendors with the intention of finding the things he needed. Yi Zhang could only helplessly nod his head when he saw what Xiao Yan did. The few of them followed close behind him. Wandering around this crowded large hall exhausted a lot of time. Xiao Yan had only looked at 20+ vendors when 1 hour had passed. What really left him speechless was that he had gained nothing. Although the quality of the items here was much higher compared with some trade fairs, it had not reached a point where he was interested. The things in this place have already been strictly filtered. Moreover, these fellows are all people with extraordinarily sharp eyes. It is not an easy task to obtain a treasure that others did not discover from the hands of these people. Yi Zhang behind Xiao Yan finally could not resist saying after Xiao Yan gradually became disappointed. "If you really wish to seek treasure, you will need to head to the second or third floor. Xiao Yan involuntarily rolled his eyes when he heard this. He muttered, "You should have just said that earlier. How can I disturb you when you are so excited? Let's go. We'll first head to the second floor." Yi Zhang shook his head. After which, he pointed in the direction that led to the second floor. Xiao Yan nodded and followed. With the qualification of Xiao Yan's group, it was naturally not a problem for them to head to the second floor. Although it was a little strained in regards to Xin Lan, the guards hesitated for a moment, but after they saw the Tier 7 middle grade badge on Xiao Yan's chest, they allowed everyone through. The noise was significantly reduced after they got to the second floor. The size of the second floor was also quite large. Bright crystals covered the floor, giving it a smooth, mirror-like surface. It caused one to feel a little dazzled looking at it. Quite a number of crystal platforms were present on the crystal floor. One could tell that the things on these crystal platforms were of much better quality than those below with just a glance from afar. The number of people on the second floor was far less than the floor below. Moreover, their tiers were also a lot better. All of them quietly looked at the items that caught their eyes before softly discussing the payment with the vendors. Xiao Yan's eyes slowly swept across these crystal platforms. It was a long while later before he finally stopped walking. His eyes paused on a jade box on a platform in front of him. A blood-red oval fruit was lying within the jade box. A blood aura seeped from it, causing it to emit waves of life force. The blood essence demon fruit was an extremely rare medicinal ingredient, a demonic fruit that absorbs essence blood. This fruit hid underground and absorbed the life force within essence blood before it eventually transformed into the shape of a fruit. The blood essence demon fruit was a key ingredient in refining the bone-growing blood-fusing pill. This bone-growing blood-fusing pill was the medicinal pill that Xiao Yan intended to refine at this pill gathering. Peak of the 7th tier. It could even step into the 8th tier. This bone-growing blood-fusing pill was terribly difficult to refine. Moreover, the medicinal ingredients needed were unusually rare. The chance of one successfully refining it was extremely low. If Xiao Yan had not chanced upon a couple of lucky encounters recently, gradually filling his soul with spiritual qi and allowing him to feel his pill refinement become smoother, he would not intend to refine this bone-growing blood-fusing pill. After all, this medicinal pill was indeed too hard to make. Of course, it might be difficult, but this bone-growing blood-fusing pill was a medicinal pill that Xiao Yan needed to successfully refine. He needed to refine it because of Yao Lao. When he rescued Yao Lao in the future, he would need to resolve the issue of his body. Refining a body would require the bone-growing blood-fusing pill. Yao Lao was not Tian Huo Zun Jie. Xiao Yan would put in all his effort at all costs in order to refine his body. Only the bone-growing blood-fusing pill would allow the body to be perfect. Refining the bone-growing blood-fusing pill would require 3 key ingredients. They were the blood essence demon fruit, 10,000-year-old green spiritual vine, and snow-bone ginseng. These 3 types of ingredients need to all be prepared. Up until now, Xiao Yan had only come across this blood essence demon fruit in front of him. He had yet to obtain the other 2 ingredients. Such rare medicinal ingredients were things that even the Yi clan did not possess. Xiao Yan's eyes swept over the blood-red fruit within the jade box. A bloody aura permeated it. Immediately, his eyes turned to the cellar behind the stone platform. He was a red-robed elder. A Tier 6 badge was on this elder's chest. "KK, this mister, has something caught your eye?" The heart of the red-robed old man was stunned when he saw the badge on Xiao Yan's chest. After which, he cupped his hands together and spoke with a respectful smile. "How do you want to exchange for this thing?" Xiao Yan did not delay any longer. He pointed at the blood essence demon fruit and asked with a grin. "KK, it is this blood essence demon fruit." This red-robed, old man clearly understood the item he was about to sell. He managed to reveal its origin. The people who could sell things here had eyesight that was not weaker than Xiao Yan. It is likely that Mr. should be aware of the rarity of this blood essence demon fruit. One will use it when refining some Tier 7 high-grade medicinal pill. The red-robed, old man smiled. He fondled his beard and said, "The old me wishes to use this blood essence demon fruit to exchange for a Tier 7 middle-grade medicinal formula that the old me has never practiced before." Xiao Yan raised his eyebrows. He faintly laughed. "You really do know how to joke. This blood essence demon fruit might indeed be rare, but a Tier 7 middle-grade medicinal formula is a priceless item. Who would take one out and exchange it with you? Although Xiao Yan possessed many high-tier medicinal formulae left behind by Yao Lao, it did not mean he could fearlessly and randomly spend them. The blood essence demon fruit was indeed precious, but it was far from being able to match a Tier 7 middle-grade medicinal formula. Moreover, this medicinal formula had to be one that the other party had never practiced. The eyes of the red-robed, old man were a little embarrassed. He knew he was asking for too much. However, he refused to step back. After all, he was aware that the blood essence demon fruit was the most valuable and precious item among the things in front of him. Xiao Yan shook his head when he saw the red-robed, old man refuse to lower his price. He turned around and instructed Xin Lan, "We will first head to the top floor and take a look around. You cannot head up there, so you should just remain here. Find a spot and say that you wish to purchase the blood essence demon fruit, 10,000-year-old green spiritual vine, and snow-bone ginseng. The conditions for purchasing them are fully refined Tier 7 middle-grade medicinal pills." Xin Lan nodded when she heard his words. After assigning this task to her, Xiao Yan turned his head to the red-robed, old man as he faintly said, "This is the price I will set to exchange for the blood essence demon fruit. It is up to you whether you want to exchange it. If you have thought it through, you can go and look for her." Xiao Yan ignored the red-robed, old man's frowning expression after speaking. He turned around and walked to the top floor. A Tier 7 middle-grade medicinal pill in exchange for a medicinal ingredient. This was quite a good price. Xiao Yan was too lazy to say any more unnecessary words to this old man if he did not accept this offer.